Marilyn, welcome. If you want to be on video, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well. But again, my name is Dawn Ross. I'm the Director of Career Services and Employer Relations Office at Framingham State. I have been there for 18 years, and I have both my degrees from Framingham State. My undergrad was in psychology and business. My graduate degree was in human resources. I've been in career services since 2006. I used to be the events coordinator at Framingham State and helped everybody. I heard you were with Hilltop, Monique, and yes. I used to help Hilltop with their reservations and everything. So I love my work in career services. I'm also a proud United States Navy veteran. I was in the Navy for 8 years, and I was a submarine hunter. So I've done a lot of things. As I told you earlier, I've had this is my fourth school. I've transferred 3 times. And we're going to talk today about competencies and skills that you have, that you both have, but employers need to know. We're going to help you try to flesh those out. I want to introduce my partner in crime, and I'll let Wendy talk a little bit about herself.
Hi, I don't have nearly as interesting a life as Dawn Ross. I've been in career services for 5 years. I have an undergraduate degree in communications from UMass. I have a master's degree from business communications management from Simmons. I fell into career services because I ended up being the admin for the Gatepost newspaper, and that office, if you know where the Gatepost is in McCarthy, is next to career services. And so Dawn adopted me, and I fell in love with her as like the best human being ever from the day I met her, and the rest is history. And I'm just here, I'm the office manager, and literally I usually answer the phone if you're calling, or if you come to the office, I'm usually at the very front desk. But my whole personality and my whole being is to serve you students. I know that sounds silly, but really I get my pleasure from just helping. So if you need anything, just shout out and we'll do our best to help.
All right, well, thank you. And I appreciate everybody being here. I want to just bring your attention to our chat where I put out some of the materials that we're using today. It's I know it's a hard format when we have materials, and we're also virtual, so hopefully you guys were able to look at that and print those out. I also have a list to a Google Doc, the website where we have our case studies. We're not going to be able to get to them all, but it's kind of like taking what you're learning today, it's homework, and using it practically, and that's open to everybody. I put the PowerPoint in there if you'd like to, take that and share that. And also the 2 documents that we're going to be working with today. If anybody has any questions, feel free. Wendy will see your hand raised. I'll try to leave room for questions at the end. Yes, Wendy.
I don't see anything in the chat. I don't see any documents.
You guys can't see anything in the chat?
No.
Oh my God. It says it's in there. Zoom group chat. It says everybody in meeting. And then, yeah, that's so strange because I'm sharing it. I shared with it I think everybody had what I sent you except for the PowerPoint. So I will send that to you separately. And, oh, I'm sorry. We'll put it up on the screen at some point. So, if you don't have it printed out, if you don't have it, we can go through some of that. So I'm going to get started unless you have any questions. Okay. And today, I think I told you a little bit about why we're here. We'll want to highlight your skills to employers. And we're going to talk about your competencies, and we're going to assess them. We're going to talk about your leadership roles, your co-curricular roles on campus and such. And so we're learning about the skills that you've gained through your work experiences, your internships, your co-curricular activities that build your career confidence, because it's so important for you to be able to realize that all these transferable skills that you have in your everyday life, in your everyday experiences, really are important, and to be able to articulate them to employers when you're going into the work field. And we're going to help you translate them as well. I know some of you are in campus clubs, you're student leaders, you're students, you've been interns, you've had jobs. So we're going to talk about how you can, talk about these and realize, because a lot of people don't realize they have all these skills. And some of you have, I know you probably have had part-time jobs, internships, and summer jobs. So I know you probably have had that. Some of the things that you can look as a co-curricular experience, what's a co-curricular experience is in addition to your academics, things that you do on campus, on and off. Your leadership roles, your student organizations, your internships, your part-time summer jobs, your on-campus jobs, anybody's an athlete, your volunteer activities, and your service learning. Okay, so this NACE is our professional association within the career services world and also the employer in recruiter world. And in 2020, they came out with the most important skills and competencies that you need when you graduate college. And they're, as you can look on the screen, leadership, critical thinking, problem solving, career management, oral and written communication, digital technology, which now more than ever, we need to talk about digital technology because we've all gained this. Teamwork and collaboration, professionalism, work ethic, and global intercultural fluency. So guess what? When you look at what skills do you gain from the things that you're already doing? Gee, do you see a pattern here? They're the same skills: leadership, critical thinking, problem solving, oral and written communication, self-evaluation, which is really important. That's why I love assessments. If you have not done Focus 2, it's a free career assessment that's on, you can get through it off of our website. I'd love to talk about, this could be a whole other presentation, and Emily talks about this. We will have all of our past presentations on our YouTube channel and also a link from our website. So that's something that you should really think about doing. And it really helped me just for my personal life, because when I actually took this, it actually told me I'd be a good teacher and a good career counselor. And I'm like, why couldn't I have known that, 25 years ago? But I do appreciate self-evaluation and assessment. So important: teamwork and collaboration, networking, global fluency. I can tell you in my 18 years at Framingham State, I have worked with thousands of students, and they all have these skills. They've all had experiences. So I know you do too. So what are soft skills? What are career competencies? I mean, probably you might not have ever heard about soft skills before, but they're traits and interpersonal skills that characterize your relationship with other people. They're personal qualities, habits, attitude, and your social graces that make someone a good employee and compatible to work with. Believe it or not, that is one of the most important skills that you can have, is to be compatible with other people, because people want to hire people that would get along, would make a great part of a team. So learning your skill sets in this value, in this soft skill, is so important. So you've all heard about IQ, right? IQ is your intelligence quotient, but your EQ is your emotional intelligence, which is so important. Okay, so we're going to say, how important really are these? So we've asked hiring managers, administrative professionals, and soft skills compared to hard skills, compared to employability skills. So as we can see, it's skewed towards the soft skills. Employers tell me all the time, Dawn, if the student has these soft skills, I can absolutely teach them the hard skills. So this is what we're going to talk about today, is what are these skills? And as you can see, it's so important to have them. Before you can effectively communicate what skills you have, you need to reflect on your experience and how you gained these skills. So you should review the competencies gained and strategize. How are you going to talk about it? And in your resume, your cover letter, your interviewing, and your networking. As you will find out, networking is the #1 activity you can do to really help you find a career or job or an internship or anything. So networking, and I fully contribute everything that I've gained at Framingham State. I've been promoted 6 times. that is because I have a really good ability to network. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I can network, and that's why I've been successful. As student leaders, I know some of you are student leaders, some of you are not. Some of you have been involved in clubs, but whenever you're doing anything, we say student leaders because you are a student and you are a leader. I know you are. You're helping people, you're networking, you're planning events, you're encouraging your fellow students to participate. You counsel and talk to your friends and fellow students, your classmates. You can motivate them, you can mentor them, and you probably presented to groups in your classes. So all of these things make you a leader. Okay, so I know you said that you don't have, some of you, I hope you printed it out, but maybe you don't. I am going to stop sharing this screen and pull up the this inventory sheet. I know it's hard to try to do this with all of this, so we're going to just take one part of this. And let's talk about your communication skills. What I'd say, I will send you all of this. I know I sent some of them, but I would love for you on your own to go by and check off which ones that you have and which ones you need to work on. So we're just going to talk about communication skills. So the ability to speak effectively, write clearly and concisely, listening attentively and objectively, expressing your ideas, facilitating group discussions, interviewing, editing, and responding to appropriate feedback, using various media to present ideas imaginatively, provide appropriate feedback, negotiating, perceiving nonverbal messages, persuading, reporting information, describing feelings, and public speaking, and using various styles of written communication, conveying a positive self-image to others. Those are just some. If you don't have some of these, you can always be working on them. This sheet is a good sheet for you to assess what you have, the skills that you already have versus the skills you need to work on. And the next type of thing I want to talk about is the NACE competencies. And let me grab that up there, put that on the screen. Okay, so as you can see, we're going to be using the STAR model, which is what situation, what task, what action, what result. And write down your leadership roles on campus, your student club involvement, internships, part-time jobs, campus jobs, summer jobs, volunteer, service learning, and your athletics. So you would identify the activity, and then what did you actually do, and then what competencies you developed. And I'm going to share some of the case studies because it's hard in this short time frame to try to do this, but you can do that on your own. You can also make an appointment with one of our career counselors and they can go through this with you as well. With this short time frame, we really can't go through it all, but say you were thinking about, you were presenting to your class on a project that you did. And so you went and you presented a PowerPoint presentation. It was 20 slides and it was on assessing students' beliefs about the coronavirus. And they're working virtually. So you had to research, you maybe have done a poll. So you would, your competencies would be critical thinking, oral communications. If you worked with a team, then you could put that in as well. If you did a PowerPoint and you used some, polling software, that could be an information technology application. You took leadership if you were in the group and you were the lead speaker. Professionalism, work ethic. I think if you created a good presentation, you would show that. Career management. It would be something that you could talk to with employers as part of your career management. You could put it in your resume. Not knowing the global intercultural fluency that you had to do, I couldn't say that. And maybe other activities that you did that would go. So let me see if I can do the really quick a case study, and we can do a case study, and we can find this out. Hold on one second. Wendy, can you, I see you. Can you take it away and talk about a case study that we've done?
Okay. So say you are a club secretary and you were going to have a speaker come, and at the last minute the speaker couldn't attend, but you had already sold tickets, so you'd used budgeting, you had already marketed the event, and you had people attending. What you do in that next situation could be, cause for conversation. Do you reach out? Do you have a second speaker in the wings that you might be able to get at the last moment? Could you pull something together from, fast research and do the presentation yourself on what the speaker was going to talk about? Could you get in touch with all the people and either reschedule it for when the speaker were ready? So life hands you circumstances, and then we can talk about, okay, so let's talk about, you have an event, you've already sold the tickets, you've got the venue, and the speaker can't attend. Anybody want to chime in on, what will you do next?
If this was like a situation I was in, I would probably work on contacting all the people and seeing if we could like postpone the event, because it depends on what the speaker is speaking about. I wouldn't feel confident giving any presentation on any topic I'm not an expert on. So if this situation were to come up, I would probably see if we could like postpone the event until the speaker was ready.
And that would serve you, if you think about the skill set that Dawn just shared. Well, you were doing some critical analysis, like what's the best thing for the population that was going to be served. You communicated because you had to reach out, you had to, and you must have used technology to reach these people. So you can see all the little boxes can be checked off in so many circumstances when you identify what the situation is, what the task at hand was, what you had to do, what the results were. So I think Dawn just found a case study too. So I apologize, that was so random and off the top of my head.
I just couldn't, for some reason I couldn't get back on. So just this quickly, as a Foundations peer mentor, you taught with a faculty member, a class of 21st year students. During the spring semester, you and the faculty member met weekly to create an agenda and develop an interactive PowerPoint presentation of various topics that were required as part of the program. You assisted in maintaining the class Blackboard site and contributed resources to make first-year students feel a sense of belonging. At each session, you led an icebreaker and answered questions to make the class feel connected. You created 2 social and informational activities to engage students. Everything was going well until your faculty member suddenly couldn't complete the last 2 remaining weeks of the course. You worked closely with the Foundations director. It was decided that you would lead the last 2 courses on your own. What skills were used? Well, you had to develop agendas and PowerPoint presentations. You researched and added relevant content to Blackboard. You engaged students in welcoming activities. You collaborated with others. You counseled and advised first-year students jointly and on your own. You introduced students to on-campus resources. What have you done? What kind of skills do you think that were also used in this presentation? And one thing that I can think, this actually happened to my Foundations peer mentor when I suddenly got sick and was out of work for the last 2 weeks of the course. And she really had to think fast on her feet. There was a large problem. She had to collaborate and work together with the team and really be able to mentor and counsel first-year students. So, her communication skills and all those skills that we talked about, she showed in this type of situation. I'm going to share these case studies with you. And, when it says, when you think about the question based on the above case study, tell me a time that you went above and beyond expectations and how it made you a better leader. So, if we had more time, we could go into that. But right now, we don't have the time, and so we're going to just keep going with the PowerPoint right now. And back there, and PowerPoint, here. So when you think about reflecting on what you've done, we call them bullet points, we call them talking points. And it's always good before you go into an interview because they're going to ask you these questions. And you recall situations from your job, internship, your sports, your volunteer, and what you actually did. So it's the STAR model. Like I said, situation, task, what action did you take, and what were the results? That's a problem with a lot of students when working on their resume, cover letter, and interview skills. Try to show your results. And I'm throwing you under the bus, Val. Val has been our social media intern this semester, and she has increased our social media by over 20%, the users and the views. And that is such a great bullet for her resume. So when she's going out and talking about her successes and what she did in the internship, she can absolutely talk about that. So you guys have done this, you're doing it in all these activities, and but you need to reflect upon it. And I think that's the most important thing that you do. So it's like what you did and why did you do it? How did you do it? And what were the results? And I don't know if you guys have access, but we do have a really comprehensive career guide that has a lot more of this information in it. So instead, you manage your staff, you manage your 4-person staff, you raise money, you raised over $500, a long report, a 50-page report. So when you see to quantify what you did, it's so important because when you're going out on interviews or you're talking to somebody, they don't know what you've done. So to be, clear and concise and use those numbers and quantify what you're talking about so they can see the scope of what you've done. When you think about it, solving a problem, increasing efficiencies. I'm throwing Val under the bus because I know her. She came up with this amazing Excel spreadsheet that we will be using it's like a legacy. We'll be using this spreadsheet even after she's gone. It's very efficient. It gives us a track of how many events we've had, how many people are going to the events, and it just is a really great record for us to have. Anything that you develop new, you need to be writing these down and really talking about them in interviews. As I told you a little bit about the STAR model, always think about that. Think about it when you're in interviews, think about it when you're in a networking situation, and think about it on your resume. We talked about examples. If you were a SEAL, I'm just going to give you one of these. I know we're running a little long. Led 4 engaging and fun educational activities designed to teach students about the variety of health, self-care, body image, and other health-related issues. So that would be a great bullet point. Just something about a black and gold leader. Professionally interacted with over 1,200 incoming transfer and first-year students, acclimating them to the university through a variety of engaging activities and information sessions. We talked about the NACE inventory. So you can, take this, all this information because it's going to give you, and try to do it at home. I know it's within a half an hour, we don't have a lot of time to do this, but it's going to give you a heightened sense of self-awareness and confidence in your skills. Employers are looking for these skills and you have them. Just, trying to assess them, writing them down on these handouts that I gave you are really going to help you being able to talk to employers. Remember, even in our office, we're absolutely available to do mock interviews with you and, helping you with your elevator pitch, your 60-second pitch, your marketing pitch. We can help you develop all this because it's such a great to walk up to somebody and and just like, wow, the person that you talk to is saying, I cannot believe that you've done all that. Last night we had an employer that had met our students. She and Val, you were there. She was just blown away with, how our students were able to articulate what they wanted to accomplish with their career goals. And it was really gratifying that, she was there and she was very encouraging. So if you have the ability to come and talk to any of our employer partners, we also have a mentorship program that you can sign up and we can pair you with a mentor and they can help you with this as well. All right, so we're gonna stop share, and sorry for that little glitch in the middle, and get back to everybody. And I know we got 2 minutes left, but we can stay on a little longer. Do you have any questions? I know it was fast and I talked fast, but I hope you learned something, and I will be sharing the PowerPoint and all the handouts.